just chilling with my cousins here. Thank you guys. Happy Sunday.
Bye.
Love you. Thank you.
Hi guys.
Happy Sunday.
God is good.
All the time.
All the time.
God is good.
Love it.
Well, just chilling with my cousins here. Thank you guys. Happy Sunday.
Bye.
Love you. Thank you.
Hi guys.
Happy Sunday.
God is good.
All the time.
All the time.
God is good.
Love it.
Well, just chilling with my cousins.
Greetings, good people. What's up? What's happening?
Bye.
We love you. Thank you.
Hi guys.
My name is Dr. Clarence,
God is good.
and welcome back to TV7 Live, where we get to give you all the hottest and top trending topics. Now, that was a video posted by Nelson Chamisa on Sunday. Now, Chivhayo is back again on social media, and he makes this post. It reads, Vakadzi vane power, hanzi tiposte chete, nhasi zvekudyirwa musagata zviramba. Woona his dream, Excellence vachiposta ne4 vakadzi pasina mai Chamisa. Kamwe kaskrepa katsikombi wonzwa kachiti we need new leaders. Isu tinoti lead by example. Tangai machinja kwenyu. Alright, so leading by example, we saw in words that there, blankets being donated under village transformation agenda, which is Nelson Chamisa's vision for the rural areas, and a ZANU-PF councillor there from Ward 24 Kuwedza orders the clinic to return the blankets that had been donated by a CCC, but not a CCC. CCC doesn't exist. All right, but a patron of the village transformation agenda. So that was leading by example. And why would anybody order something that has been donated to be returned back? And because this is a May councillor we are talking about here. A clinic called, I think it's Foods Clinic there in Wedza, where 20 blankets had been donated. That's over 400 US if we put one blanket at 20 US. But obviously those blankets, they were not my blankets at 20 US, maybe 40 US blankets. And this councillor orders kuti makumbeze adzoserwe. Anyways, so we're seeing Chivhayo now back again to posting, but he posted this message a few days ago, 2 days ago. For the past 2 days, his Instagram account had disappeared, and there were speculations that it had been hacked, but it seems it is back. So it's highly likely that Chivhayo had been hacked and told to behave himself. That is why he is now coming with a post there attacking Nelson Chamisa on X.com, not on Instagram this time. Instagram, the one wants to post a bling bling. Recently, we saw him make a post ariku achenda ku States 7 days ago. Then he gets deported from the United States of America. Then we see him in an image with Madam Boss there. Enough respect to everybody who's watching us live right about now. To those who are watching us live, you can write your comments in the top chat or in the super chat. That's how I can see your names, so I can give you my shout outs. All right, I don't know what's happening with my machine there. It was slowing down a little bit there. Anyways, enough respect. Hansi na Lisbon. Unopenga Tsambarafuta uyo. Yeah. So this guy comes instead of campaigning for his party with that attack. So what do? We respond. Big up to Lisbon Gweza. To those who are watching us live, guys, you can write your comments in the top chat or in the super chat. That's how I can see your name so I can give you my shout out. Big up to Moses Mandija watching us live there. So that was a message posted Nema cousins ake Nelson Chamisa on Sunday, just saying happy Sunday, happy Sunday. It was a positive message, a message about Sunday. We all know that every Sunday he makes a post, a happy Sunday message. Anyways, before that, he makes a post written, there is a way out. Remember the last video, the last time we saw Nelson Chamisa on video, he was talking about the way forward concerning the disputed elections and the submissions he had made or he made to the SADC. Then, yesterday we saw Job Sikala and another guy whose name I cannot remember. I'm just saying that to show that he is irrelevant, saying we are ready to lead any protest from the front, right? So these guys already, they are trying to steal attention, not coming up with initiatives of their own planning, but rather they are saying, no, if the people ask us to lead a protest, we will. So, in other words, that is what we call soliciting. Soliciting for political support, in that they want to get the respect they would get if they take any action without necessarily taking any action. What does it mean when one says, if the people ask us, we will lead, we are ready to lead. Kana vanhu vakati titungamire, tichatungamira protest from the front, said somebody who is out of the country. So, just that, it is what we call soliciting for support. Everybody wants to know what is the plan. Planning the so that they can derail it, like we saw this guy doing this Msebenzo wa Tabangu. Anyways, let us continue. Yesterday we saw a congratulatory message to the UK leadership. From who? Nelson Chamisa, and this is what he said. He wrote, "Congratulations, I sincerely and heartily congratulate the new Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, and the UK Labour Party on the landslide victory they recorded in the general elections. After witnessing the seamless UK election, I wish to congratulate everyone that participated in the electoral process. This is a win for democracy, a win for better ideas, and indeed a win for the whole world. It's always refreshing and inspiring to witness democracy in action and see citizens empowered through a ballot. Citizens' voices must always count and matter. It is our fervent hope that the new UK government will promote stronger ties between Zimbabwe and the UK. Zimbabwe currently battles illegitimacy, disputed elections, contested national processes, endemic corruption, and the heightened authoritarianism. That was a big word there. Authoritarianism. Okay. The Zimbabwe-UK relationship must be strengthened. We look forward to working together in strengthening our diplomatic and trade ties, opening up opportunities for businesses, investments, and transformations in both countries. We will endeavor to build a better world and stronger Commonwealth for all. Hashtag democracy in action, hashtag UK votes, hashtag Labour victory." Then he posts an image there of the UK new presence there. Anyways, so somebody makes a post. They do post this UK ballot paper. So Nick Mangwana then would post a UK ballot paper comparing it with a Zimbabwe ballot paper. Now this one, this UK ballot paper, is edited on the very bottom of it, and somebody puts a Nelson Chamisa there and puts X there. Okay, it's just comedy. It's just for the purpose of comedy. They do that there. And anyways, Nelson Chamisa do repost this and says, I find this one hilarious there. Now, Nick Mangwana posts a Zimbabwe ballot paper and a UK ballot paper side by side, trying to compare. So these guys, we all know, when they got that tender to print the ballot papers, shorter, they were overcharging, right? Imagine mari inoshandiswa pakuprinta maballot paper yekuti cost per each voter, it's way more than $6, at least $6 per voter. When we are counting at the number of registered voters, I'm not sure how many registered voters. I don't have that from the top of my head. We have. I'm just avoiding to give the wrong numbers. I'm not sure how many registered voters we have here. But if we look at that amount, let me just look that up. Zimbabwe registered voters. Big up to everybody who's watching us live right about now. To those who are watching us live, you can write your comments in the top chat or in the super chat. That's how I can see your names, so I can give you my shout outs. So we have 6 million registered voters in Zimbabwe. Imagine. 6 million registered voters in Zimbabwe. So it means if ballot paper one raka cost $1 ku printer a ballot paper, my ballot paper quite a total of 6 million, right? Ku printer 6 million, but how much do we have? Going up as much as $88 million. Now let's work with this one. 40 million tender to print the ballot papers. How much is 40 million divided? Bear with me there. My network had just dropped. Enough respect to everybody who's watching. It just dropped there. So these guys charged $6.60 to print one ballot paper. Now, when Chivhayo makes that post, how do the people of Zimbabwe respond to his post there? Let us go there right about now. Bear with me as I open. I'm using one screen, so it's a little bit slower. Right. Anyways, I'm failing to show the comments. I'm failing to open the comments there. I'm using a small screen here. I'm just using that screen from the laptop. Anyways, let me just check to see if anybody has commented. Enough respect to everybody. Lisbon Gueja says, thanks, my brother. Continue. ne broadcast watching from South Africa. Thank you very much for that positive feedback and enough respect. Another one says Dokia on top. That's Stanford Makwengwere. Thank you very much for that one. Be with me, guys, as I get back in the groove. I haven't been posting for a very long time, so I'm just getting back into the groove. And hi, Doc. Matron Nyoni, how are you? Where is Chivayo hiding? So Chivayo is in Zimbabwe. Right about now, as of now, Chivayo cannot be touched, because if they arrest Chivayo, then they're gonna be needing to arrest a whole lot of other people. A lot of people are inside this deal. A lot of people have been implicated in this deal. That's why we need to ask for the help of our counterparts there in the South Africa, in particular from the Democratic Alliance, right? So we need to go to their social media and present to them the KCA rain form, so such that rain form can be investigated from the South African side. Recently, we saw the latest South African Minister of Home Affairs extending my exemption visas, right? So these guys, they don't have anything against Zimbabweans, because Zimbabweans are hardworking, and Zimbabweans have also contributed a huge chunk to the South African economy. I'm not saying Zimbabweans have contributed to the South African economy such that my Zimbabweans to misbehave to South Africa. No, I'm not saying that for that reason. In fact, those Zimbabweans who work abroad in South Africa, in UK, in States, they also contribute to the Zimbabwean economy in that my forex remittances, mari yatinowana kubva kumazimbabweans ari kunze yakawanda kupfuura mari yema-foreign direct investments, ma-FDI. But our government still continues to respect foreign investors more than our own Zimbabweans, who are working very hard and contributing a very large chunk to our forex in Zimbabwe. And what do they do in forex here? They give an weakness Chivhayo. Right about now, my members of parliament vakatengerwa dzimwe motikari futi. That is 20 million going there. Nyika ichiti nyika is facing food crisis by month end. And then these guys, what do? They buy new cars, new vehicles for members of parliament. It seems now they're buying new car for members of parliament, a new car each and every month. So this was released by the Daily News yesterday. We see here parliament splashes over US 20 million on members of parliament vehicles. Parliament has splashed millions of dollars purchasing top-of-the-range vehicles for lawmakers. The country's 280 National Assembly members and 80 senators have since, okay, so, you know, because this one you have to actually subscribe to be able to read the entire e-paper, right? So, of course, we should be supporting our own because these guys will be actually working. They have journalists employed there, etc. So these guys are the guys who come up with the original stories. It's not like they copy stories from other media houses and then they paste on their website, but they have journalists who are actually active. And obviously, reporting from Zimbabwe, you will be limited because you are reporting from Zimbabwe. So you'll be limited on how much investigation you can do. You'll be limited on how much you can say. It's like on my case, I stream live and direct from Zimbabwe, right? And where am I streaming from? From a ghetto, from Chitungwiza, right? So sometimes you may be limited. You may be limited depending on the day, the mood, and your rate of your awareness on how much you can speak. All right. So TV7 Live, this channel is not a news channel, but rather it's a think tank channel where we do reviews, analysis. We look into things and possibilities. What we do is we research what's out there. Then what do? We test it to see if it make sense. It just makes sense. So we don't give news, but we talk about news. We discuss news that's already there. And it would be through the work of those journalists who would have wrote those stories, who would have researched those stories. So we should support our Zimbabwean journalists also by subscribing kuma e-papers, ana Herald, ana Daily News, even though Herald may be biased, etc. You know, when those guys go to work there, they know so, but they are our fellow Zimbabweans. So at the same time, we should be very understanding. Now, if we go to the Herald, we see front page the Herald, the same stories they keep writing every day, right? Of course, we are patriotic people. We are pro-Zimbabwe. But there are certain things that do not necessarily mean that one is pro-Zimbabwe. Like, Kungo supporters, so here we're seeing the cover page for the Herald. What is it saying? President set for global affairs seat. Okay. What's new there? Nothing new. Zimbabwe's assumption of the SADC chairmanship next month will entrust the country into the front row seat of global affairs as key contributor to international affairs. Come on. ED is already the vice chairman of SADC, right? Any incumbent leader becomes the vice of the SADC. So that is the story that is on front page of the Herald. What other story do they have in the Herald? 575 drug traffickers arrested in Africa. How many of those are from Zimbabwe? Probably zero. Okay, probably zero. Why? Because those big wigs in the government, they are actually behind the importation of drugs. When we have a police, why do we still have the same people responsible for selling drugs in our communities, still selling the drugs? It's because Zimbabwe Republic Police is corrupt. That's why we have the same people. How do drugs penetrate our airports and our borders? It's cinema sniffer dogs. It's because our borders are corrupt. They are very porous and border officials are very corrupt. That's why we have, and here they talk, hey, we fight against the drugs, fight against the drugs. Do you have any rehabilitation programs in Zimbabwe that work? Do you have any awareness programs that work? Do you think kuti munhu akanzwa munhu achiimba akasonge kuti stop taking drugs paradio zvichaita kuti munhu amire madrugs izvozvo? It doesn't give people alternatives. And why do youth end up turning to drugs? Because they've got nothing to do. There are no jobs in the community. And when vanhu vakadautanga kuita ma-independent, hurumende inoita zvayakaita muna 2016 under John Panonetsa Mangudya. What did they do in 2016? Consolidating all the funds, banning the US dollar, and bringing the bondage note. What for? To take the money from the indigenous, because indigenization was prospering then in the year 2016, coming from the year 2008 when we had a GNU, leading to the year 2013 where we saw the new constitution coming into play. So from the year 2013, 14, 15, 16, in fact, following the GNU, ndo patikatanga kuona maZimbabweans akutenga makombi akawanda. A lot of Zimbabweans vakutenga magonyet. A lot of Zimbabweans opening supermarkets and companies, right? So 2014, 2015, 2016, things were okay in Zimbabwe. We were using the US dollar as our sole currency, and these guys just have to find a way to steal the US dollar from the people. One about US dollar, mopo ma bondage notes. When they require now to be paying you back, bondage notes not devalue, and then they pay back less money than Maria Wakatora. That's why we see most of those guys who are connected in the government are involved in what? In Forex dealing. It is very sad. So that is the second story. What else do we have in here in the Herald? So the meaning of the word Herald, actually, Herald to herald is to parade. The word herald means the same as parade. Is to parade, is to herald, is to showcase. You set students up to help civil servants, pensioners to access loans. That's a story. Okay, our own. We have anyways. Of course, they are students. This is the year 2024. National newspaper applications. But anyways, in that they are showcasing our own University of Zimbabwe student. So recently we saw a video by Zinasu students Pawangawari pa cleanup campaign in Harare, and they were saying that in Zimbabwe we do not only need clean up Hima streets, but we also need to clean up our system. We need to clean up the government also. So I'm just gonna play a short of the video there so we can listen to a bold statement there by a youth there. I hope that they will not be victimized by overzealous so-called ZANU-PF supporters. Okay.
We are here students in this country of Copacabana. We are joining the national cleanup campaign to clean the streets of Harare and other streets in this country. But we are saying, it's not only the streets of Harare and the streets in Zimbabwe that are not clean, but we should clean our governance system in this country, which is mad and by corruption, plunder, and incompetence. 13,000 and above students we're supposed to be benefiting from the money that is looted through the GOAT scheme by the government of the regime in Zimbabwe. The money that was looted by one Chivhayo is enough to cover the students in Madziva Teachers College who are failing to access internet connectivity, who are failing to access Wi-Fi. The money that was looted through the GOAT scheme is enough to cover in Madziva Teachers College who are failing to know even the character or the features of a laboratory. Professor Amon Murira has failed as a minister of higher and tertiary education, but we have seen him being awarded the second best performing minister in this country, regardless of.
All right, here he's saying, Professor Amon Murira, we have seen him being awarded the second best minister in the country. Yet in the country, what are we seeing? We are seeing all this nonsense that is happening. The say we know Chivhayo nonsense, the Mike Chimombe nonsense. Anyways, we saw these guys, their case is not proceeded to trials. Vachiri kuita ma deliberations e bail. Je bail as re progress ye case trial isati yatumbo famba. Right? Of course, they are allegedly behind bars because who knows where they are. Okay. Anyway, obviously, they are in remand. For how long are we going to be seeing another catch and release? So yesterday we did a video, top 15 catch and release cases in Zimbabwe. But on that video, I gave 20 catch and release cases. So I'm going to put the link in the super chat and also in the description of this video. We will be doing another video by weekend where we consolidate all those guys involved in the catch and release. We want to make sure that this is on our minds. This is the awareness that we are pushing, exposing the corruption and malpractice and negligence happening in Zimbabwe. And to those who are watching us live, guys, don't worry about our long videos on TV7 Live. What I do, I stream at very low bitrate, such that even if you watch a 1 hour long video on TV7 Live, you will not use 30 megabytes. Test that, try that, check your data before you watch a TV7 Live video, and afterwards, my videos do not consume a lot of data. Big up to Tafadzwa Njerama. So I have just put that link to the video in the super chat. I'll also put it in the description. Anyways, let's continue watching this video by this very brilliant young man from Zinasu there. I don't want to use the word brave the word brave has been abused. Why should you be brave to just speak general things? You don't need to be brave. Are you threatened by anybody, or is anybody threatening you?
Failing to access innovation hubs, which is the backbone of Education 5.0 in this country. So Zimbabwe Nation News decided to say, no, let's join the cleanup campaign as per the presidential declaration. But we are saying, no, President Emerson Mnangagwa, it's not only the streets of Harare, it's not only the streets of this country that are not clean, but the governance system of this country is not equally clean. So students in this country have joined this.
All right. So they are speaking and then respectfully directing the message to the office of the president. President Emerson Mnangagwa, what we are saying is this. It's not only the streets, because it is the president who would have called for this cleanup campaign. There is need to be clean up the government. So they are respectfully directing it to the president. Then we see in Zimbabwe some overzealous fools who would respond to this message as if the message is directed to them. Hey, it is our duty to protect the president. Hey, it is what? Hey, it is what? As much as ED is an PF president, he is the current president of Zimbabwe, even though the elections are contested. Right? He is the president of Zimbabwe. So it is his duty to listen to the needs of the people of Zimbabwe as presented. So sometimes when these things are presented before they are even heard, chinovaita vanhu kuda kungochikidzira vanhu nekuthreatena vanhu just because vanoda kuzomira paairport vachimhoresa president, vozoenda kumaofisi ehurumende, vonoita madhiri nemacorrupt leaders ikoko kunopuwa matenders, kana kuti vanosenza ikoko hurumende yakaemploya vanhu vakapusa vano overcharge zvakapusa kudaro zvokuti ballot paper rinoita $6.60. Kupusa kwakaita sei ikoko? Do you know kuti dollar inotenga ma-excise book mangani? Chiro chemabond paper 500 unotenga zvingani pa $6? Ko ukaenda kuparon vista ukada unotenga mamwe mapepa ane mazita anonhuhwirira unotenga mangani? Right? So it's very sad and bad. $6.60 inotenga printer. So it is a very, very sad. We're seeing our government ichipa matenda kune munhu asina kana company isina zvainoita any individual. Tenda iyoyo ndo breakthrough yake. It is actually very sad and bad indeed. Then when we go to this paper, the Newsday, basically Zimbabwean papers angofanana because we are broadcasting from Zimbabwe, and these guys, they buy these papers from underground. But anyways, we have our own who are working there. Right, even Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation, ZBC TV, it is our fellow Zimbabweans who work there, and sometimes they are forced to be biased in a certain way because they are working for a certain boss. They have to work very hard. Imagine if they don't get those peanuts that yavanotambiriswa in Ziggy. How would they survive? Big up to Tafadzwa Jirama, enough respect to you there. So what does the Newsday here saying? What is the Newsday here saying? The headline here is saying, the cover page is saying, vehicle scandal rocks townhouse. Townhouse here, Jacob Mafume and all those other guys who claim to be aligned to Nelson Chamisa when they didn't resign in solidarity to Nelson Chamisa. Everybody should have quit that parliament and office when Cyclone Sabangu came. They should have just quit, such that by election, it will be under one movement. How would you lose again where you have won? Okay, these guys actually take some seats somewhere else because people do not actually participate in voting. People do not participate in voting. And the biggest rigging, it happens in urban areas. ZANU-PF maximizes and prioritizes urban areas Why do they do that in urban areas? It is because in urban areas, opposition ndo kwa yayo wana ma biggest margin. Just my votes emu Harare ne muchitungwiza chete. Harare and chitungwiza only. Anobisa ZANU-PF from power. My votes Harare ne chitungwiza chete. Take note. I do not have the numbers from the top of my head right now, but in Harare Metropolitan, registered voters is 2 million. Registered voters in Harare and Chitungwiza. Remember Chitungwiza yakazvimira yega. Chitungwiza yakabatana neNetone. It's a different part. Right? So Harare Chitungwiza, the total of voters, registered voters, vanosvika 2 million. Vanosvika 2 million. Kana vasingasvike 2 million. Here we are seeing this one. Okay. Harare Metropolitan, total registered voters is 950,000. That is Harare Metropolitan. 2 million ndandazonyanya. It's 952,000. 952,000 of almost a million. Not the 2 million. Nanganda double. I had rigged there. Anyways, Bulawayo Metropolitan. How many? Bulawayo Metropolitan is 270,000.